I don't know the brand, or I don't know this person and everything. But in recent times, people have said you can't keep saying that. The industry, everything that happens to one person trickles down to another person. And also in recent times, there have been a lot of call outs on event planners. And I started noticing that even for me sometimes, when I'm with a client or with friends, they tend to say any event planner. I'm not any event planner, but the only way to escape that is to have the conversations that we're having now, and see how we can reduce some of those what will I call it, accusations or assumptions, and see how, with our own experience, we can either make things better or try to make things better. So for me, I think that's why we started, doing this 10-part series that we have started, and today being the grand finale, because the planners are supposedly the guilty ones from all the series we've done. Everybody has had something to say, about the planners. So the planners are the guilty ones, and that's why we decided to start at 5 today, because it seems usually when the topic is heated for some of the other series, it's supposed to be a 1 hour session, but we found ourselves doing 2 hours, 3 hours. And if people are really hot and bothered about planners, we're assuming that it may take longer, and we don't want to go into 1 a.m. in the morning. So we decided to do it now. So I guess for me, call your friends, call your enemies, call your clients, call everybody that has either an issue with a planner, questions for planners, happy to praise some planners, or anything planner. Today is the day. Even planners are complaining about planners. So I don't know, Bolara, what do you have to say?
To be honest, um, it's what time? It's 5 o'clock or 5:10 thereabouts. I honestly would hope that we will be able to finish by 7 o'clock, 7:30, so that everyone can do things they have to do. Um, so I would just say I know that when I started event planning, there was I didn't know any event planner, so to speak. And at the end of the day, hello, Kefe. At the end of the day, over the years, we now have event planners. But yeah, in those days, I used to collect all the insults, for event planners. A lot of people felt, oh, why are you coming to become an event planner when my auntie can do it? There was one day I can never forget. Bride's father chased me from the top of their house to the bottom, saying, "Why are you? Who is an event planner?" So over the years, as an event planner, I realized that we had to defend, tell people why you had needed an event planner, and that happened. And after some time, event planning became acceptable. So it's really sad that after event planning became acceptable, a few of us are taking the piece and giving event planning a bad name. Because honestly, I remember when I went to Faith Foundation about 20 something years ago. Even Faith Foundation didn't believe in event planning. They said I was a joker. Like, what is event planning? So it's really sad that something we kind of worked hard for over the years that has now become acceptable. It wasn't acceptable then. I remember when I told my mom and my grandmom that I wanted to be an event planner, and they kept on abusing me. That who leaves certainty for uncertainty? So event planning wasn't something you would say you want to do. I had to be focused and say, oh, that's what I wanted to do, and we did it. And so it's quite funny now. Everybody wakes up today and says, oh, I want to be an event planner, and it's acceptable. But it wasn't acceptable then. So it's really sad that something some of us labored for to give it a good name, you know, After how many years? 25 years, 20 years, 20 and 15 years, 18 years. We're now getting a bad name. I think it's unacceptable. It really is unacceptable. I know that everybody doesn't want to join an association and everybody feels they can do it on their own. But the thing is that when one person does something wrong, it affects everybody. And no man is an island. And there are a few complaints people have made about event planners. They feel that we behave like gods. They feel we are rude. They feel we are greedy. They feel that we build castles
Fraudulent.
in the air. We come up with things that maybe for our own personal life we can't do, and we put it on other people. And they also feel we are not united, that we just do things, we feel we're the Lord and Master of everything. So that's why we're having this conversation. Oh yes, then there's a lot to talk about. Also, they feel we're dishonest. They feel we add costs to things. If something is 2 naira, they feel that it's 20 naira. We give it to the clients, and they also feel nowadays they even feel that we sleep around to get jobs. So we have a lot of names that shouldn't be associated with event planners that is being associated with us. So that's why we're having this conversation to know what is the job of an event planner, what is expected from an event planner. So that's all I have to say.
And Molly, just kind of add to what you've said, and in all of that, we also need to clear the air about certain things because so, KFA said some planners are rude. Okay, we also need to clear the air about certain things. You know, in terms of greed, what is greedy, what is not, what is rude, what is not. Do you get what I mean? Because all of these things are not also just that way and everything. So
But
that's why
what
we're
is
telling
rude?
everybody.
No, what is rude is rude. What is rude is rude. What is violent is violence. What is unacceptable is unacceptable. So
Yes,
there's there's what is
I
rude is,
agree.
do you
But
understand?
we also need to break it down.
Yeah,
Hence the
because like
conversations
KFA has
we're
said,
having.
I've been at an event that I'm not a planner. I'm the maybe decorator or whatever, and planners have been rude to me.
Mm.
And I think there's an air planners, they kind of have. And it's just not my nature. I'm not somebody that I don't put things on my head. I don't put first wedding planner in Nigeria. I don't put on my head. Do you understand? I don't put founder of Apple. I don't put on my head. But people are rude. People are rude.
Yes,
And
Molly.
I
I
don't see why I have to carry something on my head to say, okay, this is who I am.
yes,
We should be nice and kind to everyone. So
yes,
that's what
I totally agree. But like I said as well, which is why we're having these conversations. There are also misconceptions in the industry about planners as well. Do you know, just like you've said, that you don't carry it on your head that you are the first event planner or whatever, whatever? Do you know that you can walk into a room and automatically someone can feel threatened by your presence, for example, and our actions may be termed as rude? Don't get me wrong, I'm just saying that that's why we're having these conversations. Do you get? So you have all of those things as well. So let's look at the good, the bad, the ugly, and let's you know so let me, I know our guests are here. Okay, of course Molara and I will be adding to a lot of the conversations because we're planners, so you know okay, I think Laziba has joined. Ronke, we can only see the back
Yes,
seat from
I'm
your owner's
coming.
corner.
Good.
From
I'm trying to.
your owner's corner.
I was trying to rush back to the office so I can be in, a correct space for you, so that I can be ready for my part of the evening. But alas, Lagos traffic. Lagos traffic has humbled me.
See event
This
planners, oh,
is
they are
also
both on
better.
the road. They are
Lagos
they are both
traffic has
they are
humbled
both
me.
on the road. Okay, so
Hello, ladies. Thank you
hi.
for having me.
So we have
Second.
Ronke of Laziba Events.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. And we also have Segi from Epicenter Events. Did I get that, Segi?
Hello, everyone.
Hello. And we also have Segi from Epicenter Events. Did I get that, Segi? Hello. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Something is echoing. I don't know what.
Yes, it's echoing. There's a feedback.
Hmm, I don't know what it is.
Okay, so we just come out and come in again. Okay, I think
Okay.
you got it.
Stop. Okay.
Okay.
So as
Hi,
you guys
Sagi, how are
know,
you? Sagi, you've not heard your voice. You're just smiling. Sagi, can you hear
can you
us?
hear
You're
us?
just smiling. You're not saying anything.
I don't think she can hear
I
us.
don't
So.
think I can hear us.
Oh, now she's
I think
smiling.
it's delayed. Okay. Say something. We
Let
Yes,
me
want
I
to hear
know.
your
can.
voice.
I'm not sure I can hear you on this phone. I think that's why it's echoing.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I would
Mm.
log out and then come back in.
Okay, okay,
Okay. Okay,
okay.
that's why there's an echo. Okay. No problem. Okay, so where do we start from?
Hmm.
Molara was already shaking and almost smashing tables.
In fact, did you
He
see me
went, he
trying to
plunged in.
save our
He
planner
just,
lives from
he
Molara?
just
Molara the
plunged.
decorator, not Molara the planner.
Not the Molara the class, she plunged right in. But
I say,
some of her statements are actually quite valid.
oh yes,
Gbemi,
definitely.
if we're
Yeah,
going to be honest,
yeah,
and if we're going to be true,
yeah,
and if we're going to just have open,
yeah,
hold bar conversation, because at the end of
yeah.
the day, all of this series, first of all, I'd like to commend you, ladies. This is absolutely brilliant. What you guys have done with these conversations, you've opened a massive can of worms. And I think it's really going to help us individually in the industry and the industry as a whole, because there's just certain things that too many conversations are being had behind closed doors. So I'm glad you guys are bringing it out. You've brought it to the forefront. You've brought it out into the open, and we're shaking tables. So kudos to you both, my queens. I'm giving you your flowers right here and now.
Please, I want them
Molly,
fresh.
you want them fresh, no worries. So Molly, planners is as if planners have shown you shaggy.
Okay,
Please
so
take it,
No,
so
I
take
would
it
say that.
easy.
I would say that. I think, yeah.
Hmm.
I
so
think I've.
what would be the first question? Are we
Hmm.
God in the event industry? And who made us God in the event industry?
You see,
He didn't say
I
it well.
don't know.
Who died and made you God? Not
Okay,
who
who
made you
I
God
died
don't know. I
and made
don't
us
and made
know
God?
you God.
where. I don't know where planners of. I can't remove myself now because I'm also a planner. I'm also in this industry. I also wear this cap, and I don't know how we've created this monster, right? But I can tell you for free, for a fact, that this monster is alive and well and brewing and breathing and breeding. However, in defense of some other planners, not every planner is like that. I think, I don't know at what point we became gods, but somehow along the line we became, I don't know if it's clients the and really, maybe you used a word that I loved. You said a lot of misconception. Even as planners, we misconstrue a lot of things because I don't think that the trust and the authority that clients passes on to us as planners
Hmm.
in order to free their own plate so they can focus on other things since they have us as professionals. I don't know whether in handing that baton of authority to us we became drunk with power. Because really and truly, I have witnessed planners be absolutely horrible. Horrible to vendors. Now, I'm not saying I'm a saint. No, I'm not. I have my moments. We all have our moments. We all know when the pressure starts. You're trying to set up an event, things are going behind schedule, you're pulling out your hair. Understandably so. But some planners have just become downright horrible. And a lot of times I wonder, I say, okay, so is it that this is their true nature
Mm.
exhibiting in their professional space?
Mm.
Are they really nice people? Are they really nice genuinely? Are they naturally nice? Or you've just given them, because they say you really know a person's character when they have money. So perhaps you know how power drunken a person can get or power driven a person can get when you give them a bit of authority and power. So maybe what we see play out that translates to planners being horrible is just a naturally horrible person who has become a planner and they've just given you authority and you are flexing it any which way, anyhow. Do you understand? So, but in defense, they're actually really lovely, well mannered, well cultured, professional planners who are a joy to work with. So I wouldn't rush to put everybody in a box. I don't know, Segi,
Peggy,
I'm going
what
to
do you
let you have a, yes, I'm going to let you have a word.
Okay. For me, I'm pretty naive, to be honest. I'm pretty naive, to be honest. I haven't really worked with or no, not worked with. I'm not very conversant with a whole lot of planners, and I
Oh,
think
our video is
we've sort
lagging.
of also um, carved a niche and stayed there. We mostly do corporate events, so I think it's also a bit different what we experience. Right, Epicenter doesn't do weddings at all. Birthdays would be like 5-10%. So we are more in the corporate world and we deal with the politics of the corporate world, right? But yes, I've heard a whole lot. Not to blow my trumpet in any way, but I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, why are you like this? How are you reacting to this? I expect you to blow up, because they've most likely related with other planners in that way. Oh, you're so nice. Oh, you guys are really, really, you're great to work with and all of those things. Um, but just like you said, it's just from all of what I've heard, it can be really crazy out there. And I don't know if it's their behavior or, it's as a result of the fact that they've been put in that power. And I don't think that it's wrong for the client to give us that much power. It's just in a particular sector. And I just believe that it's the person, right? I want to believe it's the person,
Mm.
and it's just how they are, and the reaction of the things around them that they're just emanating out pretty much. I'm not sure if code of conduct is really going to help, to be honest. It might be a guide and it might curb, but who is going to give that um who is going to give the repercussion if the
Yeah,
code of conduct is broken?
yeah,
Right? What if they don't join the association?
yeah.
How are we going to? I think it's pretty much the person, to be
Yeah.
honest. I think it's the person.
Okay,
Okay.
let me ask you this based on that statement you just made. So you as Epic Center events, why haven't you joined an association? Yeah.
So first of all, how do you know I'm not in an association?
I know you're not. At least I know 4 or 5 associations, and I know you're not there.
Whoa. this is a very difficult question. I won't even lie. It's a
No,
very
no,
No, but
just
no,
just
let's
be
hear from
be
you.
honest
Let's hear.
about it. Yeah.
Be honest about it.
ah okay. So the association for me seems like, oh my goodness, you're putting me
Say
in a
no,
very
don't
No,
tight.
no,
don't
say it
say
as
it.
it
Say
is.
it.
No,
This
we're
is the
having conversation.
platform.
Say it as it is.
Yeah, just
You just say it as it is.
I'm really trying to find the words
Let
so
me
it's
help.
not.
Let me help you, and you pick the one that works for you. Look, people have said associations in Nigeria. Some of them are RAS. People have said the association. Some of them are a clique. People have
mm,
said the associations, they don't want trouble, they don't want anybody in their business. People have said they don't feel they're professional enough. People have said so many things. And I think that those types of feedback also helps the heads of these associations to go back and take a look at what they are doing. Do you get? They may not get it 100%, but they can begin to, like, of course, I'm a member of APOEM. I'm one of the founders and all that stuff. And I've always said it. An association does not need to have 1,000 people. If you're five, if you're 10, if you're 20, if you're 50, but let it be people of
yeah.
like minds. Do you get what I'm saying? I may not know you today. I may not be on the same level that you are professionally, but because I have joined you, I want to take those positive things, those professional things that I want to be from you. That's how it's supposed to be. Do you get what I mean?
Mm,
That's how it's
Yes.
supposed to be. It's not just about the parties, the hangouts, it's the fact that we're all coming together for one sole reason. Do you get? And when we are there, I should be able to call you and tell you that, look, I saw your event yesterday and I felt, and you don't feel I'm coming from a bad place because we belong to the same family, quote unquote. Do you understand? And you're able to say, oh, really? Da, 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 da. We talk about it and move on, and then the person grows. And do you understand what I mean? So why
Yeah.
haven't you joined an
Yeah.
association? The question is still there.
I thought I was going to escape it.
No.
um. Okay. If there is an option of
Yeah.
all of the above,
Yeah.
right? I would do that. But I think us at for us, right? It's a. I think it was also from my predecessor, right? Ramake Adebo, bless her memory.
Yeah.
We were just in a tiny little bubble,
Right.
and we just stayed that way. And just like you said, without anybody's wahala, not being in
Yeah. Yeah.
anybody's books, just being pretty much on our own, right?
Right.
And
Right.
associating with the people that are of like minds
Right.
here and there, little by little, and just blooming and blossoming in our little world, pretty
Right.
much.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Mulara had why.
Um, just to answer you a bit, I know what you mean by just what you said. For example, Madame Ronke, I call her English speaking. I didn't know her. I'd heard about her. She was in a little bubble as well. I didn't know her. I just heard, there's an event planner. But it was in app when we met, and we've been able to have a relationship that transcends um more than Appoem. So I'm just putting it out there for other people. Because when you join an association, most times water finds its level. You find people that you
of
know
like
you of like minds. And I think that was the main reason why then I had the vision for Appoem then. Because event planning was new in Nigeria. And there was nobody. You have a problem, you just be sitting down, you won't know how to solve the problem. you know when you go and meet somebody, you don't know how to price. There was nothing. And that was the reason for the association, so that you can have like minds. There could be a space that people could come together and feel that they stand for something. And we thank God that even after APWEM now, we now have other associations that have come out of Upweb. But at that point in time, there was nothing. So you as an event planner, there was nothing for you to fall down. There was no one to support you. Maybe you went to an event, they slapped one of your waiters. There was nothing, there was nobody that the government was talking to that would
Yeah.
defend you, which is what an association has done. I have a problem with the clients. I'm not going to go and meet my friend who is an human resource management or my friend who is a lawyer. She can't understand what I'm talking about. When I'm saying, oh, I have to do schedule, I need to do, a 3D rendition, they don't understand what I'm talking about. So those are things that when you are in an association, that is what an association has done. It's a place for unity, it's just a place for networking. And it's just a place where you feel at home, that you have people that are doing the same type of thing you're doing. So it's a place for like minds. And it doesn't have to be, like she said, doesn't have to be Upwem. There's also Alia, there's so many others station. But if you're out there and you're an event planner or you're in the event space, really, you should be part of an association. That's what I would tell anyone who's in the event space. So my question is to you. You said you're in the corporate, not you said you're in the corporate space. How do you deal with corporate clients? Now, what I mean, for example, I go to a corporate client and I know that the service I'm supposed to give a client, everything is going to cost me 5 naira. Then I get to the corporate client and they're telling me, which happens sometimes, they're telling me to put 30 naira in the total budget. How do you deal with it? Because I get that question every day. Do I walk away? Where is my
No,
integrity in all
say
this?
say that again. Say that again. So
Okay,
the
the whole bill for an event in a corporate thing is maybe 5 naira. But the person who is giving me, maybe the people, I don't know what they call them in charge, everybody now says pad it with five, pad it with five, pad it with five, pad it with five. At the end of the day, you've padded it, and it comes to sometimes 35 naira. How do we deal with things like that? Because it happens. And because you don't want to walk away, the job is okay at the 5 naira. But you padded it with 35 naira. Not because you want to pad it, but because it's a corporate job. Everybody wants it padded, so to speak. And it happens a lot in Nigeria. How do you advise you deal with it? Or is it just that's what it is? It is what it is, and because I still got a phone call about this yesterday, and she didn't know whether she should walk away or you know. So what do you, especially in the corporate world, it happens.
Even me, I can answer that question, but say, go ahead.
Okay, to be honest, a whole lot of our clients, we have not really experienced that with them.
Wow, that's
And
good.
that's actually, to be honest. I don't know if it's as a result of how they see us. And because sometimes I think they also know the people that they do that to. And there are times where they actually want to test you and see if you would accept it and if they can continue to use you on that level,
Mhm.
right? The times where we've faced it, right, to be honest, we've had to walk away. Or when they sense that we are not going to accept, they just don't give us the job, right? And you hear from back end later on to say, oh, someone used a particular word for, I can't remember it right now, but the lady was like, you don't do that, so we're sorry. Or in fact, she said it in a third party. They won't give it to you because you don't give tips, you don't give anything, right? And even from the gifts that we also give people, which they would even hardly ever even take. We don't do figures, we don't do finance, we don't do money. We just give gifts. So you already sort of like know who you will give it. And that is also why people are saying we are padding money, right? That's why people are, talking negatively about planners, that we're padding money, we're charging high, is one of these reasons. And it's because, see, if you don't do it, somebody else will. So it's the integrity. What are you here for? What do you stand for? Right? So are you going to take it? And to be honest, I always say small epicenter, big God. And it is not even a matter of, I would always have to take it spiritual. Pardon me. It's just who you are. Who is your God? Who are you serving? Are you sure he would sustain you? If you are, then right, he
Absolutely.
will he will always find a way to provide for you, one way or another. So integrity is key. So
Absolutely.
it depends on the person, to be honest.
Thank you.
Sorry,
That was a
can I
beautiful
add
answer.
a question, please? Sorry, Molara. Let me add to that question. I'm also of the school of thought with say definitely that's the way we operate as well. However, we also have to put it out there, which is the truth of what is happening today, is that especially when you're dealing with government, especially when you're dealing with government, these are things that you face, and these are things that sometimes even people with integrity would accept. So I'm going to use myself as an example. Has it happened to me? Yes. Did I accept? Yes, I did. However, that line item for me must be clear. What do I mean by it must be clear? If you want to pad something up, so for example, you're telling me at 20 million, whatever my bill is, you have to tell me what you want to put on that line item, because if there is an issue, I want to be able to say this is what the line item is. And
Defend it.
when that figure leaves my account, I want to be able to say this is where that figure went. It is very important that I may not talk, I may not say anything, but that figure is there, that line item is there, and it has nothing to do with me. you know. And at the time, the reason why we did it was because of the level of the person that asked for it. I'm not going to walk into a company and a secretary and her cohorts will sit down and tell me, Madam, you want us to pass your, what did they call it? That will never happen. Even an ordinary manager cannot tell me da 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 da. But I mean, if we're talking VP level, we're talking, that's a different ball game. You now have to make your decision, line item or walk away. Do you understand? But for me, that line item must it is very important, because the figure is going to leave my account, and I must be able to tell even my auditors what that line item. It's very key. So I don't want to sneak it into decor. I don't want to sneak it into food. I don't want anything that I'm doing. I don't want to sneak that figure into it. It has to have it. So give me a name for the line item. If you want it, put what is the name, what is it called, you know. So yes, that's the
Yeah. I think that's actually, if I could just add to that, Bemi, I think that's actually a brilliant way of handling such a situation. Because let's be honest, right? Let's be real. The environment that we all operate in, this our great country called Nigeria, regardless of who you are, what you stand for, what you value, what your values are, you will still come across these things. But I think what we must continue to do in order to make things as plain and as clear as possible is continue to speak about these things and not sweep it under the carpet. So you find that this is for anybody who is listening out there, anybody who is in this situation, you find yourself in this kind of situation, right? They're openly, clearly, bluntly telling you, if you don't do this, then we're not going to give you the job. So for me, I would go Bemi's route, as in, okay, This is not what we do. This is not what we stand for at Laziba, But if this is the only way we can deliver this job for you, then you tell me what you want us to do. Don't tell me, just like she said, to increase the cost to my band and times it by 2. Don't tell me to up the venue costs. Don't tell me to up anything. Let's create a line item and you come
But
up with whatever it is we're going to call it.
okay, Laziba, but
Mm,
I'm going to go with what Seki said, and which is
mm,
what stands for. Because I'm not sure if Bemi's approach works in a normal situation. They're not going to
And
say how many
in
people.
private, like
They are not
wedding
going to tell you.
and stuff,
They are not
may
going to
not
tell
work.
you that put X and say no. It's not. That's not a normal situation.
Okay, but another
A
mm.
thing.
normal situation is
No,
the
but
venue is
Okay,
5 naira. Make the venue 25 naira. That's the
okay,
normal
so
situation.
but there's a question that people never like to answer all the time. And
mm,
somebody asked the question in the comment section. So for example, I remember Mrs. Zakios addressed this issue at one of our TICs, if I remember correctly, and that's the issue of commission. Because I also know that some of these people do that because of commission. So people
mm,
say that, so I call you as a caterer, I bring you on board a project and I want to collect commission from you and everything. So do you I think that before anybody should collect commission from anybody, you must allow the person give a quote. It is wrong for a vendor to tell you, oh, I'm going to collect 10 naira. And then you collect her money from the client and you now decide you want to take out of it. Do you
of it.
understand?
Absolutely.
Let her quote. Tell her
Absolutely.
commission is 2 naira and let her give you a bill for 2 naira. And you both know that that is what it is. And let her say it's okay. I
Mm.
think, but those ones that go and collect your invoice and pad it, then it is a problem. Do you understand?
That's
So
just
that
downright
clients, the
dishonest.
clients that go behind your back,
It's just
and
downright
do you understand?
fraud.
Do you understand? I give the example.
Mm.
Sorry to, I give the example of when I came to Nigeria and I started events planning. I was introduced to a young lady that she was starting events planning as and but she wasn't a planner. She had a job for a very big judge in Nigeria. Her daughter was getting married. So obviously I did the proposal, I did the quote, I did everything, and I
Mm.
sent her so she could put on a letterhead and all that stuff. So we had a meeting with the judge. We go there, we sit down and everything. The woman brings out her proposal and our what they call it, and she goes, these canopies and everything. Then she sends her PA to go upstairs to bring a file from her bedroom. So they bring the file. In those days, everybody knows if you are doing canopies, classicos, tent
Yeah.
event, and who was it then? Molara, help me out.
They
Anyway,
had fans. I can't remember the way.
so
I
there were
remember
like
them.
three big.
Yeah, 3 year.
She just opened the file. She brought out Classicos' invoice. Bam. 10th event invoice. Bam. The other one's invoice. Bam. So let's say a canopy was 10,000 naira. Maybe Classicos was 10,000. The other one was maybe 10,500. The other one was maybe 9,500. Do you know how much was in our quote? Maybe like 35,000.
Oh
Even
my
me that did
goodness.
the quote, I was like, the woman, she told us, she said, we're young, we're greedy, that she wanted
Yeah.
to help us, but we are so greedy. Why would we do that? That. Of course, she can call these people and this, that. Anyway, she sent us out of her house. So when we got outside, I was not asking her that. These were not the prices I gave you, that you should have spoken to me. There are some things you cannot pad in the industry. We all
Because it's at
know. Do you
everybody's
understand?
fingertips.
There are some things you cannot add. You just can't. If a Chabari chair is 1,000 naira, it's 1,000 naira. Do you understand? It can only be 900 or 1 1.
Mm.
It can never be
Mm.
2,000 naira. Do you get what I
Mm.
mean? Anyway,
So the question
that's the
is,
story.
so I think the question is padding right? That is it. cross-board, whether corporate or no corporate. Is padding allowed? Is padding right? Because people pad.
Is it
Forget
I
it.
mean,
padding?
There's
What are
Padding
you saying?
commission.
We've just exactly. But even outside
Can
of
you
that,
guys
we've
hear
just
me?
had this conversation. Yes, we can hear you.
Mhm.
We've just. I mean,
Because padding.
you
Okay.
pad to your own detriment, Molara. Look at the example that Gbemi just gave now, and I think for every planner who's been in this industry for a while has experienced that at one point in time. And I pray you really experience it at the very beginning so you can quickly borrow yourself brain. I say it with full chest. You've paid, thank you, Kemi. You've paid me my planning fees. I've charged my fee for what I'm doing for you. So why do I want to keep, trying to extort money from people in different ways and manners? You've paid me my fees. So my job, and you see one thing we don't understand, and it is slowly, it's not even slowly creeping up, it's sitting right on our heads now. Have you seen how, especially, I mean, Segi, you might not experience this because you're in the corporate sector, most of your events are done there, but in the private sector, for weddings, birthdays, private parties, have you seen how once upon a time clients used to sort of revere us as event planners, as in they used to really look up to us. Our word was law. They used to like hang on every suggestion we had, and they looked up to us to deliver a beautiful event for them. But now, have you seen how bold clients have become? Have you seen how they call us out anyhow? Do you get? Have you seen sometimes how clients talk to planners? Why? Because certain planners have gone and they've spoiled everything. They've ruined the relationship. How? I mean, countless stories. How clients will pay planners for vendors, and vendors won't pay, and the planner won't pay the vendor.
We have to buy
Or
sharp
you've
bag.
or you've collected 80% or 100% of a vendor's money, and you pay them 40%. And then you tell them you will pay them after the event, and after the event they're chasing you. Or some vendors who just go crazy with you and they only bring to an event what you've paid for, and then the client is like, what is happening? I mean, right now, very subtly and very professionally, we have sort of at Laziba, we sort of integrated it into our payment system, where we say to clients very clearly, with no hidden agenda, or very clearly we offer them, especially our private clients, we offer them the opportunity to pay their vendors directly,
Honestly.
because I
Honestly.
want you to know that I'm not interested. Look at
Exactly.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I look like is the
Yeah.
5K I want to put on top of each plate of food that will solve my problem?
Mm.
So with full chest, but very politely, we offer them that option. Would you like to pay the vendors? We will put the spreadsheet together for you. We will let you know what the
Yeah,
deposit is. And some of them, I promise you, they will say yes, don't worry,
of
we will
course.
pay.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
some of
Because
them,
yeah.
because they
Yeah.
see that, they're like, okay, no, not a problem, Laziba. I
They
mean,
now say
thank God.
I'll put all the money to you. Yeah.
You
But
know,
I always prefer people pay. Yeah.
yeah, we've
I
been
prefer
in
you
the
pay your
industry
clients
now.
yourself.
God be the glory. Over 15 years in Nigeria, 20 years going while we were abroad. So we've been able to set a standard. We've been able to let the client see what our brand stands for. Integrity is very key to me,
It
extremely key.
is.
I cannot give my money
Because
to
it's very
somebody
embarrassing
I
when
do
the
not
clients
trust.
and it happened and it is I hate it. I don't like it all. When the client is now calling vendors to ask,
To be checking
is
how
how
much
much
is.
did you charge? Oh
Meanwhile,
my
because
god,
of
that
two,
thing
two, two,
annoys me.
because of
But
two
that's what
thousand naira,
happened. So
you
how much
know.
did you say it was? So how come you are now calling it 5 naira? Maybe they
So
said it was 2 naira.
you know what we
But
do,
what
Molara.
happens is
You know
even the
what?
opposite. The opposite, they
Mm,
actually realize that I got a discount for them. Then they now keep
for
quiet.
them, exactly.
Yeah.
And they will
But it
they will
can be
never
very
tell you,
embarrassing, to be
they will
honest.
never tell you when you do it, when you get them a good discount. But when you pad it and they catch you, that's the end
Yes.
of you. So
Yes. So everybody know.
when we submit quotes to clients, or we do the payment spreadsheet for them, we put the vendor's details. Call them if you
Yeah.
want, because you have those clients who they will call.
Of course,
So please, my
definitely.
diving planners. I
Yeah.
mean, how much is it?
And
You
that's why
get?
clash with vendors some, you know, when the client has
Okay,
come,
can you guys hear me? I can
you know,
see
Yeah.
Aki Sugar
there's a
here.
little bit of
And
disrespect.
maybe can you read what he? I can't
There's
really read
a
it all.
little bit of disrespect that comes in because they know that the
Can you
client,
see what Aki Sugar
they didn't come through.
wrote?
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah,
Akin is saying, lovely to see solid event planners discuss this. Padding is not right, but the mentality of the average Nigerian is about who is doing the event rather than what and how much their rates are. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, that it is what it is. But that is why we have an association like APOM. We have platforms like this where we must deliberately and intentionally change the narrative.
definitely.
A client has
But
said to
because you
my
have an
face
association
before,
doesn't mean everybody in your association is going to do it.
yes,
You just
but
have
you
to know
Yeah,
what
but
what
if
is
there's that,
important to
iron
you.
sharpeneth
Is
iron.
integrity
yeah,
your thing? Then you wouldn't
Iron
pad.
sharpeneth
Because you
iron.
can't say, oh, because everybody belongs to an association. The people who are
yes,
going
I
to pad
I
will
Molara,
still
but
tell
what
pad.
we're
you,
saying
I
Because
is
some
tell
that
people
you,
say, I did not come and count bridge in Lagos.
yes,
I
but when we
know.
find out in the association, there are things that can be done. That's what she said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once there are repercussions for actions, I mean, when planners carry clients' money away, who holds them accountable?
Hmm?
It's
Yeah.
because there's nobody holding them accountable. It's because there's nobody calling them out. Thank God for people like Bemi, that will see something and call out, and a lot of people
Yes,
have
I'll say,
started
oh,
doing
if
that.
they should like me, they'll be okay.
you know, and a lot of
You know,
people have started doing that. But
but
we
you know my
must.
problem with call outs. Let me tell you,
Mm,
sorry to cut you. My
you're
problem with
welcome.
I don't like when people say event planners. I will soon expose all of you. That's how you took my 2 million. And then you're the same person that will come and be saying, event planners, they won't work with you if no, 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 no. With your full
Mm.
chest. A planner has cheated you. Bemi of Omega Events cheated me. Da 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 da
Basic,
da da. Stop saying
yeah.
event planners. Stop saying that's how they do. Stop
You
saying
know,
come out
they're
with
just
your full chest.
giving us a bad name.
Come out with your full chest and say what they have done, because you vendors are also enablers. So let's put that out now. You are enablers. If a planner keeps on taking your money each time you work for them, why are you still working for them? And it's not because you need food to eat. We all need to eat.
I
We all
wonder.
need to eat. If it's not this planner, it will be the next planner. Do you understand? So stop saying event planners because we won't care. But call out that event planner. If I know the person, I would definitely knock on the person's door. And I'm sure if somebody else knows the person, they will knock on the person's door. But we can't
As
continue to
well.
hide and be saying event planner, event planner, event planner. Who are these bad event planners? Who are they? Because me, I don't know any bad event planner. And if you don't tell us, we
They're,
know.
they're
Yeah.
actually out there, because you will have clients who will tell you sordid stories, horror stories, that of experiences they've had with planners. They will tell you horror stories, and maybe they are out there. I think what the reason why it's that way for you is because of the circle that you roll in, is because of the circle that you work in, the
Not
circle of
talking.
planners
We're going to
you
answer your
are,
question.
you
Yeah.
know the
Yeah.
circle of planners you have around you. And I will say the same for myself. I mean, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. I'm not going to roll with or be in the midst of any planner who is out there to just dupe and inflate and pad and do all manner of things. I
Yeah.
mean, a classic example so many times, Bimi, and I can say it openly and say it for free so many times. Vendors. will offer to give something, and I will say to them, do your job.
Yeah.
Just do your job. You know the standard that I require. You
Yeah.
know what Laziba stands for.
Yeah.
Just because you want to give me a commission does not mean I'm going to give you the job.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
prove to me that you can do the event, do the job. And my joy is let my client say to me, Laziba, that caterer, oh my God, people are still talking about their food.
Yeah.
That is my joy.
My own
If you now finish the event, you now come to my house and say, Madam Laziba, for the next 1 week, is my jollof rice you are going to be eating in your house. So
Yeah.
I will take you to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I will say thank you. Do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
understand? But
Yeah.
some vendors, they don't scratch up to par, no
Yeah.
standard, no service delivery, no
Yeah.
nothing. They think, oh, the moment they give a planner commission, whether your service is
Yeah.
good or not,
Yeah.
the planner will bring. But all that is stopping.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
stopping. It's not.
Yeah.
It can't be the order of the day anymore.
You're so
It
right.
can't be because clients are holding us accountable now. Have you seen the level of service that clients are demanding? And guess what? When you push your vendors, they deliver it.
Yes. Yes,
They deliver it.
they do. They do.
We had an event. Sorry to digress. We had an event a few weeks ago, and honestly, in my years of event planning, I would say that is one of the events that has stressed all the veins from my forehead and my entire life. You know those kind of events that you sign NDAs first. You can't post anything, you can't film anything. The you were walking into the venue, we're submitting phones, as
Mm.
in that was how high level that event was. But guess what? The client demanded such high level of service delivery from us as a brand, and we in turn pressurized every single vendor we worked with. Ladies, they delivered to the T without Laziba collecting 1 naira from anybody, but
Mm.
just letting them know that you know what, you know the standard I'm about, you know what I represent. I don't want no wishy-washy shoddy service delivery. So I say that to say that we really can do this if we want to. But
Yes.
at like shortcuts, do we just
Yeah.
want to shortcut
Yeah.
small investment, big profit. We want to do the minute tests to be able to
I don't
gain
I
the big
don't think it's I don't think it's I don't think it's shortcuts. And
So
I'll
what would
tell you
you
what I
call it?
think. I'll
Mm,
tell you what I think the problem is. Again, because event planning is new in Nigeria, there was nothing to compare it to. And because most people entered into event planning as a hobby or creativity, something you can do. I can plan I can plan your birthday, I can plan this. So
yeah,
it's a gift, right? And because it's a gift, it comes natural to you. In a way, we have not, maybe it's now we're getting there, but we've not been
yeah,
able to say what a defining price it should be. How do you price it? What is the standard? And I think
mm,
that is why. I think that is what is
I think
causing. So
price.
let me finish, then you
Beyond
guys
price.
will defend.
Oh,
And why I say that is because if you know that I'm the one bringing all these things, abroad is easy. It's
mm.
easier and corporate is easy. Meaning that
yeah,
if the budget of a wedding is 100 million, for example, I know without a doubt that I'm taking 20%.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how much is 20% of 100 million? So I already know that that's the
20
price I'm
million.
taking. That's what
Thousand.
I'm worth.
Yeah. Mm.
So there's nothing. But unfortunately,
Mm.
in Nigeria, most times they're not going to tell you what the full wedding price is.
Budget.
They're not going to
So
tell you the dress
you
is
can't
by
really
Vera
do a
Wang.
percentage.
They're not going
Yeah,
to tell you that Sonia Day is coming. They're not going
yep,
to tell you that one day Cole is going to play. Right?
yep,
Mm.
So what that happens is maybe the whole budget when you started with, for example, was 20 million. And
Mm.
for a lot of private events, they don't like to do commission. So they say, okay, you know what? Planner, what are you doing? Shebi kanti plan ni. Because nobody
Yeah,
knows a bad event. They just know a good event, but they don't know all the things that went into the good
putting it
event. They don't know
together.
how you held the table, the cake almost collapsed. They don't know all that stuff.
Absolutely,
So at the end of the
absolutely.
day, they now say, you now tell them that I want, and that's why there should be unity. That's why there should be unity. So you now say, okay, I'm going to charge 5 million, right? They are like, why are you charging 5 million? When Lagbaja is going to collect 200.
Oh,
What is something the vulcanizers have? When you go and meet a vulcanizer and you say, well, okay, I won't do my tire, they will tell you, say, madam, now 1,000. Carry it to anywhere, Ikoko, Michael, anywhere. It's going to be that 1,000. So what usually happens is, I go and meet a client because I don't know how to price right. I go and say, oh, the event is 1 million. Then they give me maybe they negotiate to 750, right? Then you now on that day, you now see, this event was a 200 million naira event. So I think that's what usually happens to planners. They now say, okay, I didn't come to Count Bridge. The next event, because I feel that the client is not going to give me the money I deserve, which is 15 million. Let me go and pad it. When I pad it here, pad it here. At the end of the day, it will become that. I'll give you a real example of what happened to me years ago. I can never forget. I went to go and meet a client, and I think maybe I had given the client a budget of maybe 750 or 550. This was like 15 or 20 years ago. And the client says, I'm just going to give you 250 or something ridiculous. I cannot forget. Two people came that day. The first person was Alibaba. He came as an MC. I remember so well. And the client said, so how much are you going to charge? And he said 650. And the client
Confront.
was like, and I remember I was like 650. That's how much they were selling the plot of land then. This was like 20 something years ago. And he said, Madam, 650. If you can't do 650, I'll call one of my boys. They'll come and do it. And he walked away. He walked away. Do you understand? So by the time I called another one of his boys, I'm not going to mention his name. So when his boy now came, obviously they couldn't sell them that it was 150 wanted to. Okay. So the boy came and he collected 350. What am I trying to say? The 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 um the comedians, they had that unity, and that unity helped them in the pricing. So that same job, I was not like, oh my God, they gave me 250. How am I going to make money now? Because at the end of the day, the budget was really high. So I spoke to a decorator friend of mine. She was a decorator. And I said, okay. So I think she quoted 150. And I said, okay, 150. She, you give me maybe 25,000 or something in it. Then I said, okay, no problem. On the day of the job, when I say, why is the table cloth like this? She'll be like, Bolara, the 25,000 you gave me, if you are giving me the money, I would have
I would
used it.
have
If
a
I said
long
to people, she said, Bola, that 25,000 naira I gave you. After that, I said, you know what? I'm not doing again. I'm not asking anybody for money. I don't want anybody to help me.
just deliver your service, do your
Just
job.
tell the client how much. Tell the client how much you want to
Mm,
charge and charge what you want to charge and move on.
yeah,
So I think that's what is the
absolutely,
major problem in the event
Yeah.
industry.
absolutely,
I
So,
don't
absolutely.
I don't know what
so
is
yeah.
obtainable
Mm.
in the social world pretty much. But I know that for us, what we do is we run on percentage. And then if, for example, the percentage based off of the overall budget, right? If the percentage is not up to par with our minimum charge, then we will have to now charge the client, our minimum charge. Basically, we can't go lower than a particular threshold.
Yeah.
because we're an organization. For us to leave our office, for us to even start,
That,
you know, and you're maybe, for example, you're not a new client, you're already an existing client, and we want to, we just for us to leave our office first. This is how much it's going to cost, for us to actually be engaged in your job. So we have a percentage, and if it's lower than that, then we just go with our minimum charge, and then you can now negotiate based off of that. So I don't know how. I want to believe that's pretty much how you also run.
no,
Is
that's not how
Not
it runs.
necessarily.
And I think
That's not
that
how.
it's going to be a bit hard to actually have a minimum and a maximum in the social
Yeah,
world. Because
yeah,
also what we have is that because to peg these things, there are a lot of factors that go into it. Your
absolutely.
educational background as it concerns the work that you do, the experience that you have, your clientele. I mean, there's so many, many things. And I think that's also, which is part of some of the things we're going to talk about this evening, which is why also you have some older planners that don't vibe well with the younger planners. Do you understand? So you have people like us that have been in the business for a long time, and you have the ones that have just popped up, and all of a sudden they're all over Instagram. They are very confident. They know the 3Ds. They know how to do TikTok and stuff. And of course, the people getting married are within their age groups. So the
Mm,
conversations are, different and everything. So a younger planner can easily walk somewhere and bamboozle the bride and da 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 da, and she's saying, "Oh, I'm going to
yeah,
collect 20 million," and the bride goes to her
mm,
daddy and, "Oh, daddy, I want her." You have that. Do you understand? Have the older planners as well that can probably do the same thing too, or almost the same
mm,
thing. And then you're upset because you're commanding the same types of fees. You have that. That's one. So fees, I think it depends on what you have, how confident you are,
yeah.
and all that stuff. Because even people that have it cannot walk into a room and ask for what they feel
They
they
deserve.
deserve. They can't
Absolutely.
even go into a room and say, "Look, my fee is 5 million naira." They can't even do that. So where do you want to start? So somebody enters if you're in front of Adenuga, his daughter is getting married, and he's telling you how much, and you say 10 million, and maybe just jokingly, the man says, "No, I'll only pay 2 million." But you're so excited, you're in front of Adenuga, you want to do the wedding, you want to trend. You say, "Yes, I will take it."
Mm,
You know,
yeah,
it's going to take a lot for us to get a minimum.
definitely.
It's going to take
Absolutely.
a lot. I
Absolutely.
honestly,
But
I
okay,
think that
okay,
another
maybe
reason
okay,
why
second say something.
people also pad, another reason why people pad and people are like, "Oh, I didn't come to Lagos to count bridge and all that," is you see how much vendors are charging, right? You see how much decorators are charging, you see how much entertainers are charging, and you are asking yourself, am I even
how? Hey,
Oh,
my
you
God.
have removed
So
one leg of the table.
I'm telling
I
you
thought
that
I was the only one that would always pass through my head whenever I have an event.
I'm telling
You know,
you,
I have to
you
use
talk,
my
you
church
jump on the
mind.
stage for 30 minutes and it's 30 million naira.
no,
Yet
And
but
you
you
let
can't
have been
dance.
one
You can't even
lazy
no,
dance.
but
Oh,
let me
you're
tell you
not
over the
why.
event
dancing.
for the past 6 months.
I don't think event planners are valued. That's just the truth.
Yeah,
We're not valued like we should,
Are
and we
we
have
are
to get
we
to a place.
creating value? Are we creating value?
Of course, we are
Are we
creating
showing
value now.
are we showing our clients
I think
that we are valuing?
you see, for our clients, if I may answer that, Bemi,
We are
I
showing
believe
value.
I believe that we are value creators. We
Yeah,
do create value, but you see, for
definitely.
our clients to see and appreciate that value, even us as planners need to value ourselves.
Thank-
James. We need to
Yes,
value ourselves.
yes,
We need to hold ourselves accountable.
yes.
We need to stop this dog eat dog
I'm telling you.
that scenario situation that we